Hello, my name is Andrea, and I am a YA author, and my debut is coming out in summer of 2025. And I have been a lurker on Authortube for many, many years, but I finally want to start making some videos, and so I figured I would start today with the Authortube Newbie Tag. I collected a bunch of the questions. There's like a few versions floating around, and I just pulled out the ones that I thought would be most interesting for me to share with you guys. So I'm gonna jump right into it. How did you find out about Authortube? That was a really long time ago. I don't even know. I think I probably found it. There was a booktuber, her first name was Jordan, and she used to do a lot of trope videos, and I think watching her trope videos led me to Authortube. I don't know. And then I got much more into it when I was working on actively writing my book, and I was seeking out information about writing, about the querying process. So that's probably how. What genres do you write in? I write YA fantasy. I could see myself going in some other directions, maybe adult fantasy, maybe romantasy, maybe even like rom-coms one day. Are you a plotter, pantser, or a plantser? So I don't like any of these names. Traditionally, you'd probably call me a pantser, but I much more prefer the term discovery writer because that feels more accurate. I don't feel like I'm like writing by the seat of my pants. I feel like I'm discovering the story. I've heard some other authors use the metaphors of sculptor and gardener, and those both really resonate with me. Like in terms of gardener, I feel like I'm planting seeds and then they grow into something as the story finds itself. From the sculptor perspective, the idea that I'm like chiseling out the story that's already in there and I just have to like make it take shape. Yeah, that feels accurate to my process. But I'm definitely not a planner, and I've tried to do that, but I have to find the story while I'm writing it, and so planning has, as of yet, not really worked well for me. My publishing path, well, that's an easy one because I have a book deal. And then I think the next question, publishing company, literary agent, etc. So I'll kind of combine those. My literary agent, her name is Allie Lake. She's at the O'Connor Literary Agency, and she's amazing. And my book is coming out from Simon Schuster from the imprint Margaret K. McElderry, and it is slated for a summer 2025 release. In terms of like, would I ever self-publish? Yeah. Potentially I could see myself going hybrid depending on like if I decided to write in a genre that does well in self-publishing, or I don't know. I'm always open to things, but right now I'm really happy with the way TradPub has been going. I'm really happy with my particular editor and my particular house. So 6, do you type on a computer typewriter, write everything out by hand? Where do you write? So yeah, I write on the computer. I use Scrivener. It's really hard for me to not use Scrivener, and people who write entire novels on like Google Docs or Word, I think that you are a magician. I don't know how you do it. Once I'm like working with my editor, I have to use Word, and it is a nightmare for me. I'll very occasionally write by hand, like if I have a little bit of writer's block, that can sometimes help me like get past it, but I never spend a lot of time doing that. I'll sometimes use some like distraction-free software, though I usually just Scrivener. I've tried a free write because I've heard a lot of great things about that, and it really didn't work for me. But if you want more information about that, you can ask. I'm happy to explain why. I see why they work for other people, but I think I just need to be in Scrivener to form my books. What are you most looking forward to now that you're a part of Authortube? Making community. I've really always enjoyed watching Authortube videos, so to finally interact with other writers on this platform is really exciting for me. And I also am like really excited to get back. I really do credit a lot of people of the internet for getting me to the point where I have a great publishing deal and having finished my book in the first place. I even think that like there's, what was her name? Francina Simone, maybe? I think that I was watching one of her videos. I'd like maybe started my book a little and was never working on it. And she said something in one of her videos that was basically like, you know, the book won't get written if you don't sit down and write it. And it was like such an inspiring moment for me. That was probably when I first like really started taking my book seriously. So the fact that I've gained so much from the Authortube community, I really look forward to being able to give back to it. What's your goal for starting an Authortube channel? What videos can we expect to find? What content do you bring to the Authortube table? That's a great question. My goal is, like I said, to give back. I think, like, I'm a teacher. That's my other job. I teach high school English, and I'm also, like, I'm in a lot of publishing groups online and Discord communities, etc. And I love helping other authors and sharing my experiences and giving advice and getting advice. So it made sense to put myself in a place where I can do that more. The type of stuff you can expect from my channel. Well, I'm going through the debut experience, so I imagine I'll talk about that, and like things that I've learned about publishing and my process. And really, I'd like to turn the question back on you guys. If you're watching, like, what would you want to know from me? I've been through querying, I've been through submission, I've really learned a lot of the ins and outs of publishing, and I would love to share whatever interests you. I'm definitely not like a vlogger type. I could see myself giving some helpful tips for writing and editing, but I'm not a like one size fits all person when it comes to writing advice. And I really love to share the process of like how to get published, how to best get an agent, how to deal with submission, things like that. And more of the stuff that I couldn't find when I was looking for it on Authortube. I found a lot of stuff about querying, right? But certain things about how to deal with my revision with my agent that was very significant, and how to deal with the process of being on submission and what to expect. There was definitely less of that content when I was looking for it. It might be there now, but I'd be excited to add some of that, and hear from you guys. Anything that I can offer you from my own experience, I'd be more than happy to share. 9, what is your book's pitch? So I'm sure you're gonna hear so much about my book, so I'm not gonna spend much time on that, but it is called The Art of Exile. It is a YA contemporary fantasy magic school book, and it is about a girl who infiltrates a school for the descendants of exiled Renaissance masters in order to steal their advanced innovations and bring them back to the regular world. And there's secret societies, and there's interesting magic that's actually science. There is a really good, if I may say so myself, really good and intense love triangle. And there's some fake dating. There is hover jousting on hoverboards. So it has a lot of fun things coming your way, summer 2025. 10, what is your biggest writing struggle? Drafting. I love editing. I love making a book better and structurally playing around with it. Actually drafting and inventing the story is so hard for me, and I'm dealing with that now, writing my sequel. 11, what's your best writing skill? I think I'm good at a bunch of stuff. I'd say the 2 things that I would probably say stand out for me is, number 1, assessing structural issues. I really love giving feedback to other writers in helping them figure out where does the story start and how to change the development to make the whole story work as a whole. And that's something I do a lot in my own stories as well. So I think structure is something I'm really good at. And then, romantic tension. I think my love triangle is great. I think that the, really great angst and tension between my characters is something I'm great at writing. 12, are you looking for any new channels to follow, betas, CPs, or other types of writer buddies? I have a lot of amazing critique partners, though I'm always open to find more. At the moment, I don't need any beta readers until people have read book 1 and then maybe want to beta read book 2. Or I do have another project that's not part of the same series that I'm working on. And when I get to a point of needing betas, I will definitely be interested in that. New channels to follow, always. 13. Oh, I wrote number 13. It was, what content do you guys want to see from me? And I kind of already mentioned that earlier, like querying, editing, submission, drafting, the debut process, general discussions of publishing and behind the scenes. So yeah, that is all my answers. I hope that that was interesting, informative. It's really nice to meet you all, and I really hope I do. And I'm really excited to start making videos. So I'd really love to hear from you what you'd be interested in hearing about and what could be helpful to you. Yeah, have a good one.